Good morning, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Welcome. Today's class is going to be how to maximize your social media presence, the secrets to really maximizing and repurposing your content. That way you're attracting the right clients to your business with less time on social media and you are able to create more profits with less stress. So you guys all know, I mean, if you're listening to me live, hashtag live. If you're on the replay, hashtag replay. If you are on the podcast, give me a thumbs up. Please like, share, and tweet this video out to any other like-minded small business owners and service providers who can benefit from this class. So let's talk about something simple. When I got into the online space, I didn't know anything about social media. I didn't know anything about content. I didn't know about how to even attract my ideal clients or what the heck that meant in the online space. Now, I knew how to do that offline through 34 years of offline practices. So I simply decided to not overwhelm myself and simplify how I started to attract my clients, and it worked. So I'm going to share those strategies with you. The first thing I want you guys to do is I want you to be very clear. You have to have very clear focus. Get a piece of paper if you are in business already, or you're just starting out in business, depending on where you're at, or you may be reinventing your business. You have to be clear as to where your audience is hanging out, because there's no purpose. Like, it just has no relevancy for you to be throwing stuff all over the place, just constantly throwing stuff out there without a specific strategy. So I want you to really sit down and say, you know what, is my crowd hanging out on Instagram? Are they on Instagram and Facebook? Are they really hanging out on Twitter? Are they more on LinkedIn? Are they people that go to YouTube or Google for specific answers? Are they listening to podcasts? And then I want you, after you make that list of where your audience is hanging out, I want you to be honest with yourself. What are you comfortable doing? Do you like doing live videos? Do you like just doing voice, recordings and having a podcast? Do you enjoy blogging? Do you enjoy just putting up promotional things or maybe having someone else do that for you? So you have to be honest too, because if you don't love doing video, then video might not be the right way for you to target your audience. But maybe you're great at doing, sharing your messaging through voice or through writing, or perhaps you really love sharing valuable pre-made content that is not you speaking. Now, once again, in this day and age, video is super powerful. So if you can muster up the courage to create live video, to really show people your magic, to really connect with them on a deeper level, I highly recommend it at some level. So the simplest way to start, I'm going to go through a simple protocol of what I do and what some of my clients are doing. Now remember, every business is different and every client is different. Everyone's needs are different. So of course, if you'd like something more customized, always just book a call with me and I can help you personally develop your customized marketing plan that's going to work for you. Now, I'll give you an example of a strategy I use for myself. Now, this strategy could be tweaked, it could be changed, but it is the simplest way to repurpose great content in the least amount of time with the least amount of stress and get the most exposure. So before I move on to that topic, I want to just talk about SEO, search engine optimization. Now, again, I am not a tech guru, but I do know that when my clients are looking for a solution to a specific problem, they're not specifically scrolling Facebook or Instagram looking to have a problem solved. That is a type of marketing that just happens to pop in front of them because they are following you and maybe it will draw interest to them. But if my particular business or your particular business, again, that's why it's important to really know who you're talking to and where are they looking for your solutions. It's SEO, search engine optimization. That basically means when they punch into Google or YouTube, what are they looking for? And are you popping up on top as one of the solutions to their problems? So one of the first things that you need to make sure you do, and I highly recommend this to all business owners, if you don't have it set up already, you are missing the mark. You're leaving money on the table. It's a free service and one of the most powerful services that you can use for free. It's called a free Google business listing. If you need help doing that, I can drop a video on how to do it below this. Just give me a comment below and I will drop that video for you on how to set up your free Google business listing and add it to your social media platforms, which is very powerful. Same thing with YouTube. Now, I'm not saying you have to have a YouTube channel, but YouTube does rank very high in the search engine optimization. So it helps you be found for people when they're looking for solutions. So let's go back to I'm going to show you a simple strategy. So the simplest strategies that most people find easy to do, and again, this is just one of the many strategies that I teach my clients. There's just too much for me to share in a 20-minute video. So I would, be able to share with you with that in either my private membership group, or if you would like to work with me, I'd be more than happy to share those things because there's so much more in depth. But here's the strategy. So let's just say, now I'm going to give you me as an example. I am creating this educational video for this platform right now. I'm on Facebook. This is a Facebook Live and I am doing a training. I will take this Facebook Live, I will download it, I will then upload it to my Facebook business page, which then allows me to put description, it allows me to put tags in it, it allows me to premiere it, it allows me to put the words underneath, the captions, which then makes it more appealing. And that also allows me to pay to have that video boosted through paid ads, or use that video as an ad later if I choose to go that route of paid advertising. That video also gets downloaded. I use the audio on a podcast. The video then gets uploaded to YouTube, which then becomes another episode that drops weekly on my YouTube channel. Now, once it's there, then going back, I have my social media manager, which I'm going to explain to you what a social media manager is and how you can actually bring this into your life and into your business and save so much time and money for yourself, especially if you're trying to scale your business. So then my social media manager goes back and first, the podcast. The podcast can be shared to all platforms. So the podcast gets shared once a week to Twitter. It could be shared to Tumblr. It could be shared to Facebook. It could be shared everywhere. That simply by the click of a button. And this is stuff that you really shouldn't have to be doing. If you're in the early stages, I understand, but I'm going to explain to you in the next step how you can hire someone to do this for you and save like 20 hours a week off your plate. Because if you're the CEO, you really shouldn't be doing all the legwork at some point. At some point when you have to scale, you're going to have to start growing a team of some sort. And I will explain to you how to do that. Thanks guys for coming on. Thank you all for watching. I see you all live. So the second thing is, so now the podcast gets shared out. Now the podcast, I hold my podcast on an app called Spreaker. Spreaker allows you to have distribution. The distribution then goes to iHeartRadio, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast. I can't even remember how many. I have a program that it goes out to all those distribution channels, Spotify. So you're really out there. My podcast is getting to a lot of exposure to a lot of different audiences. And again, this is all free so far to this point. Then the same video that's on YouTube will get shared. Same thing, you just hit the share button or your social media manager, and weekly you make sure that that video then is shared to your Facebook, it is shared to Tumblr, it is shared to Twitter, it is shared to Pinterest, which Pinterest is another super powerful SEO platform because Pinterest works on search engine optimization and keywords just like Google and just like YouTube. So once again, I don't want you to get overwhelmed by all the things I'm saying. We can simplify and figure out what is the best strategy for you. And it's really based on where does your audience live, okay? Now, that's how you just take all those things. And once you have a set program and you have this all organized, what gets shared, one piece of content now that I just created right now will get shared for a whole week. Then that piece of content, I personally like to transcribe it. I have an app that transcribes my audio into a blog post, and that becomes a blog post. So out of one piece of content, I've just created 10 avenues of content and 10 avenues of distribution that I only took 20 minutes to create one piece of content. Honestly, guys, if you're making one piece of content, being a blog, be it a live video, the easiest to do is a live video on your, lives are powerful, and you are not maximizing on repurposing that. Also, my videos get repurposed, they get posted to my Google business listing because, again, that's a search engine. So I have a whole strategy. It is a monthly plan, a monthly plan book. Everything's strategically planned out. My social media marketing strategist does it, but up until recently I did it myself. So don't think you can't. I would be more than happy to sit down with you and create your marketing plan. Now, a marketing plan, this is simply for repurposing and using your free content to the maximum of exposure to attract your ideal clients. We're not even talking about paid marketing. That is not my expertise. I do know how to do it. I have hired numerous mentors to teach me how to do paid marketing. But when I do paid marketing, I may outsource that, or I might not have to do it at all. It just depends. Now let's step back. For every type of business, how you're going to repurpose your content is going to be different. For my brick and mortar business, which is a salon, organic salon and wellness spa, Instagram is where, when I look at my analytics, now you might say, where am I looking? Analytics. If you're not tracking, guys, where your traffic's coming from, if you're not looking at your website to see where your visitors come from, if you're not looking at your email list and saying, okay, where did these people come from? If you're not looking at your present clients, past clients, where did you get them? What worked? You need to track where you're getting clients from. And if you're not getting clients, that means what you're doing is not the right thing for the clients you're trying to attract. Okay? Or you need to pivot, or you need to add something else, or you need to tweak it. The bottom line is, if it doesn't work, it needs to be corrected. It needs to be tweaked. It needs to be made better. So what works for my brick and mortar, which is a brick and mortar salon, spa, and wellness spa, is Instagram is so powerful. Google and Instagram are the two strongholds there. Everything else is totally irrelevant. And how do I know this? By testing, by doing, by looking at my tracking, by tracking weekly and saying, hey, what worked, what didn't work? Where are people coming from? Where are people actually booking appointments? Where are people actually spending money? And then I focus on more of that. I do not make videos like this for my brick and mortar business. It's a different animal. How I market that is totally different than how I market my consulting practice. Okay. The consulting practice, the majority of my business comes from my live videos, YouTube, Google, Pinterest, like they're really neck and neck. Instagram is not a high converter personally for me today, but that does not mean that that can't change. So you see, you have to really look at what's going to work for you. And guys, I only suggest 2 to 3 things. You do not have to get involved with 20 different platforms. I see you guys all coming on. Thank you for watching and listening. If you have any questions, drop them below. So don't overwhelm yourself. Go back to the exercise I talked about in the beginning. I want you to write down, where do you truly believe your ideal audience is hanging out? Where do most people interact with you? Where do most people talk to you? Where do most people give you reaction? It may not be only Facebook. It may not be only Instagram. It may not be only Google. But I want you to pick the top 3 that really resonate with you, or even 4, and focus on those. Now, my content gets repurposed also to LinkedIn. I have a whole list. I do them all because that's what I like to do. But I'm not telling you that's what you have to do. My audience for consulting lives in all these different places. And as the business changes, I may focus more on, I always focus the most on where the clients convert and where the clients really book that call, really come into my group, really turn into paying clients who get results. Does that make sense? We're not wasting time. So I don't want you to think about your marketing as throwing all kinds of shit out there. You need a strategy. Why are you doing your live video? What is the end result of that live video? What's the call to action to that live video? This video is being repurposed. The purpose of this training is to cultivate a group that people have been invited strategically into, that are interested in what I offer. I am helping them, giving them tons of value, giving them stuff that they can implement into their business. At the same time, I'm creating massively valuable content that now I am going to repurpose to a good 10 different distribution channels. So does that make sense? I want you guys to give me a hashtag live, hashtag replays. Give me some hearts, some love if this makes sense what I'm saying. And also, keep it simple. Like I said, you don't have to have all the platforms. Now, let me go real quick into how you can hire a social media manager, even if you're broke, even if you're just starting out, even if you don't know what the heck you're doing. So the most important thing here is to know what your strategy is going to be. So if you haven't figured out who your audience is, you haven't figured out how you're talking to them, and you haven't figured out where they're hanging out, you need to go back and do that, even though I know you're sick of hearing me say that. If you need help with that, feel free to book a consultation with me. I'll walk you through that, and I'll see if we can't get you some kind of clarity on that, because without that, guys, you can't go to marketing. You just cannot. It's a waste of time. You're wasting your time, because the online space is just too crowded, and you're going to get lost in the crowd. So you have to make sure you have total clarity before you move forward. That being said, hey everyone, I see you guys coming on. Thank you. That being said, I want you to remember that it's so important to focus on the client. It's not about you. It's what the people need from you. So by you not showing up on the right platforms, you're kind of wasting your time. So how do you hire a social media manager? I got this question, just came up on the comments. How do you hire a social media manager when you don't have the funds, or you feel like you're just not ready? The easiest way to hire a social media manager is hire an intern. Post on Indeed that you're looking for a social media marketing manager intern. It could be a $10 an hour gig, or you can have them work for free in exchange for referrals, college letters of recommendation. There's so many people out there just so hungry to get this experience, and they're really talented. Now, you're going to have to, this is a video for another day, you're going to have a hiring process. You're going to have a training process, because don't expect them to just do what you want. So if you don't have all the other stuff set up first, you're not ready to do this yet. You really need to have your specific strategy, what you want done weekly, how you want it done, and then I can teach you guys. I teach this in my one-on-one program, how to really train your social media manager to do what you need. That can take, honestly, 5 to 20 hours off your week. It is a game changer. It is such a game changer, because as the CEO, you should be working on your business. You should be really not working in your business doing like all this small legwork. Now, again, you might not be there yet, and that's okay. But you'd be surprised, once you have a strategy and a plan, you can really start growing a team. And if anything, I highly recommend a social media manager. I will gladly walk you through. If you guys are interested, just comment below how I hire my social media managers. They are interns, college students that are in marketing programs. They are communications and marketing experts, and they want to have the experience. And the truth of the matter is, it is amazing, because then you just have a plan. They do the plan. They usually create a schedule on Tailwind, which is an app that they use, put everything on there, and then everything just gets automatically shared. Now, again, you don't have to do this. If you're at the beginning stages, or this sounds like way too much, you create a simple plan to start out with. But without a plan and without consistency, guys, repurposing your content will not be as effective, because at the end of the day, repurposing your content is to get your valuable content in front of the right audience, so you can help them. You can help them have that transformation. You can help them with their business. You can help them with their personal life, simplify their life, whatever it is that you're selling to them. Invite them into your practice and create a client for life. So maximize on your content and really repurpose it across all platforms. And it just comes down to being organized. If you want more specific help, if you'd like me to walk you through a specific strategy that's customized for your business, because remember, every single business is different. What person A is doing is not going to be what is good for person B, because it has to be personalized to you. There's no cookie cutter strategies here. So I'm sending you all massive love and light. I hope this masterclass was helpful, positive, and you can take something away from it today. If there's any questions I can answer for you, or you'd like to go more in depth on creating a strategy for yourself, feel free to just click below, give me a message, PM me, book a call on my website, mariafontana.com. I love you all very much. Have a beautiful, prosperous week ahead. You're sending you all massive love and light.